focused and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Charles Lejano. Let's kick things off with Russia saying it's ready to ship supplies of Sputnik V vaccines to the Philippines as soon as it secures emergency use authorization in our country. This was confirmed by Kirill Dmitriev, the CEO of state-backed Russian Direct Investment Fund, which finances the Russia-made shots. On One News' The Chiefs, Dmitriev confirmed that Russia can gradually supply up to 50% of its vaccine commitments to the Philippines over the next 6 months. He also noted that Sputnik V's manufacturer, Gamaleya, has already submitted all required documents for an EUA to the Philippine FDA. Dmitriev also allayed concerns over the vaccine safety as he expressed confidence that the human adenovirus-based technology used for Sputnik V is one of the safest in the world.
The question should be not choose this or choose this, choose this. The question is, Philippines deserves to have a portfolio of different vaccines. Sputnik should be one of those vaccines because it's one of the best vaccines. And then people can decide individually, but I think it's important that people have a choice. And I'm sure that many people would choose human adenoviral vaccine versus less proven and newer technologies.
Now that the arrival of COVID-19 vaccines in the Philippines is just around the corner, health experts warn against buying unauthorized shots just to get ahead of the curve. Speaking with 1PH's Sa Totoo Lang, Health Professionals Alliance Against COVID-19's Tony and Leonila Dans advised the public against buying vaccines from the black market. The doctors said it is possible that these so-called vaccines contain nothing but water, which will be dangerous when injected into the bloodstream. They remind us that as of now, only Pfizer and AstraZeneca vaccines have been granted EUAs by the Food and Drug Administration.
Kung pinagbayad na kayo, sumbong nyo na sa FDA. Pwedeng arrest nyo yun. Because that's against the law. Wala pang marketing authority for any of the vaccines.
Meanwhile, the health experts also clarified that vaccines do not give anyone the freedom to stop following health protocols.
Yung dapat na sinasabi namin about minimum public health standards, dapat ginagawa pa rin kahit na mabakunahan ka na. So hindi dahil nag-i-imply ka pa wala kang gagawin o yung iba nakapalayas na hindi. Dapat mag-tuloy pa rin.
To encourage more Filipinos to receive COVID-19 vaccines, a health social scientist is suggesting the use of the slogan, "Love kita, halina at magpabakuna." In an interview with One News' The Chiefs, UP Professor Nina Castillo-Carandang said this proposed campaign piggybacks on the people's need to protect themselves and their loved ones, since Filipinos are known for being family-centered. She added that the health authorities should make inoculation experiences, quote, pleasant ones to boost vaccine confidence. Carandang said the country also needs to expand its vaccine portfolio to curb hesitation in receiving these shots.
So if I'm going to be vaccinated, I'm not only protecting myself, but I'm also protecting all the other people around me. Kasi very familial ang ating relations, very interpersonal. So hindi lang para sa akin ang magiging benepisyo ng bakuna, kundi para sa ating lahat.
Here are the biggest stories from the dailies. The Communist Party of the Philippines vows not to hinder the distribution of COVID-19 vaccines in the country. Citing CPP's Information Officer Mark Valbuena, Filipino Stars ngayon reports that the vaccines will be transported safely even in territories near NPA camps. However, Valbuena urged the government not to use military vehicles, as this could be used as a covert mission of the AFP to penetrate the NPA under the guise of COVID operations. The palace says President Duterte's doctors will decide which vaccine brand he will receive. Since the president will be given priority for vaccination, he may have to choose between AstraZeneca and Pfizer, as these are the only two brands that have secured EUA so far. And this from Business World, business leaders see infectious disease as the top risk for the next few years. This as they expect the coronavirus to continue to disrupt operations and global trade. Meanwhile, the World Economic Forum identified extreme weather and climate action failure as the top global risks since 2019. Senators joined LGUs and motorist groups in calling for the suspension of the new and more costly inspection system for motor vehicles. But transport officials believe The system is needed to address the so-called silent pandemic road accidents. Manlos Baños with the details.
No public consultations. For local government units, this led to the exorbitant inspection fee of 1,800 pesos under the Motor Vehicle Inspection System or MVIS.
Ang dami nang nakuha ng trabaho, ang dami mong nangangailangan ng assistance from the government, and then ita-timing pa natin ngayon ang pag-implement nito. Ito sa amin, the motorists still have to undergo an emission testing sa ibang lugar na naman po, and that's an additional 450 pesos again.
During the Senate hearing, the Land Transportation Office clarifies emission tests should be included in the MVIS fee, but senators questioned if the rate went through proper channels.
Kapag nag-increase tayo ng fees, kailangan naman ng NEDA for review. Okay, dumaan ba ito sa NEDA? Hindi dumaan.
No, Madam Chair, Your Honor.
LTO explained stakeholders were consulted for the MVIS fee. It is now looking into the possibility of lowering the fees. But senators had one more question. Why were inspection duties delegated to private companies?
Following the principle of non-further delegation, it appears that there should be no further delegation. However, we have been authorized to call upon private agencies, public or private agencies, to assist us.
That would charge that you are delegating a delegated power to the private sector for a fee.
And with just 140 centers for 12 million vehicles, Senator Recto believes this is a monopoly. The OTR, however, said that Secretary Togade already decided to increase it to 300. Some motorists also complained that MVIS tests are inconsistent.
Ang tingin ko po is that hindi po consistent yung human intervention. Kung gusto kang ibagsak, pwede. Kung gusto kang ipasa, pwede.
The DOTR insists there is a need to implement a new system, citing the number of crash death rates.
And we can even po consider it as a silent pandemic. Hence, this is the response po sana of the department through the LTO to restore order po in our roads.
Kung gusto ninyo to prevent crashes and all of that, sana inuna nga ninyo yung mga public vehicles. Kaya nga, taliwas ang inyong intensyon dun sa mga ginagawa ninyong.
Senator Grace Poe clarifies that she's against the privatization of MVIS and not the system itself. But most senators and groups are united in calling for the system's overall suspension. Reporting for News 5, Mean Los Baños, we are One News.
Basketball prodigy Sotto is back home as one of the Gilas Pilipinas men to represent the country in the upcoming FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers. Gretchen Ho tells us the details in this exclusive report.
From 7'2" to 7'3", Sotto is growing, literally and figuratively, in his quest for the NBA dream. After almost 2 years of training in the United States, the 18-year-old wonder kid is back home to suit up for the national team.
How has life been in quarantine?
I make the most of it. Nag-request ako for a bike para to stay active, and nag-request din ako dumbbells. Tas yung mga para sa workout ko, and got to stay active during quarantine.
Abot mo na ba yung ceiling? Patingin nga. Subukan mo nga abutin.
Abot kay ceiling, hindi nga ako jump ropes kasi tumatama sa ceiling.
Sotto says he's excited to bring all of his learnings to the hard court. And although he's familiar with Coach Tab's system, he says he still has a lot to work on, including gelling with the Gilas squad.
Gusto ko lang ngayon na makipag-bond ng maayos sa mga magiging teammates ko dahil yung mga halos lahat na mga players sa Gilas is first time ko sila makakasama.
But while hopes are high for Kai's inclusion in the Gilas pool, Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas President Al Panlilio cautioned against putting too much pressure on the young cager.
But he's still only 18, so much things to be done. He's still just developing as a person, as a player. So let's give him space. Let's support his journey.
If there's one thing keeping Kai grounded amid all the pressure and challenges, it's family.
Parang teammate ko na din siya. Alam mo parang friend, parang tatay, parang teammate, parang coach. Parang all in all siya eh.
Kung si daddy, coach mo, si mami naman, anong role niya?
Para sa akin, mama ko yung pinakamagaling magluto sa buong mundo.
The young hoopster also talked about his passion project, the Kaiju Sports Academy.
Yung kaiju is it's Japanese for big monster. Yun lang yung parang gusto kong maging dating sa akin na to be a beast on the court. So, yun.
What is your message for the kids?
Believe in yourself lagi and kailangan mong magsipag and lagi mo tatandaan na may purpose ka sa buhay.
Gilas sponsor Smart Communications supports Kai and the country's young talents.
He is breaking the glass ceiling for Filipino basketball players, and I'm sure a lot are inspired that they too have a chance of making it as a global player someday.
Kai Sotto will see action with the rest of the Gilas Pilipinas squad in the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers in Doha later this month.
Here are the stories to watch out for later today. The World Health Organization releases the results of its investigation into the origins of COVID-19 in Wuhan. Relatives of the 7 people arrested on Human Rights Day back in December will troop to the Commission on Human Rights to file a complaint. Several groups will also stage a protest to call for their release. And 5 appointed ambassadors will be presenting their credentials before President Duterte in Malacanang. And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us later at 10 a.m. as we monitor the day's biggest stories from sunrise to sundown. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. We are One News.